Hi everybody. Hey, great news. I got the slide out fixed. Alright, so we went and visited my stepson in Newport Richey, Florida. We spent a week there. We arrived on a Tuesday and the part arrived Wednesday. So it came in right behind us, and so then Thursday we installed the new part. So I will show you a video of basically what was involved in doing that. It wasn't that difficult. More time consuming making the adjustments and making that part right. But it wasn't a bad deal at all. So we paid well for the part with shipping, and I had priority shipping done. It was about 200 bucks. Not bad. I think if we were to have someone do the work, that this would have easily cost about $1,000. So we saved quite a bit of money doing it ourselves. My stepson helped us push the slide out. He pushed against one part of, one side from the inside, and I pushed from the other side, the two walls, and we kind of rocked this out as my wife, Kathy, operated the slide button. And we got it most of the way out, and then we supported the floor and went to work on it. So, and that worked out pretty good. Also, while we were in Newport Richey, I also got some maintenance done on the truck. Needed an oil change and tires rotated, so I got that done at the car dealership, a Chevy dealer, and so that's all squared away and good for another 5,000 or 6,000 miles. Was a design change on the gearbox by the manufacturer, and the old part number on the gearbox, there's a little sticker on there, and it shows, it begins with 150. The new part, which is the new and improved, begins with 170. So, and the one I got begins with the 170. So hopefully this one holds up a little better. Okay, so I think part of the design issue is with the gearbox, with the gears failing the way they do, because it seems to be a common problem, is that they don't have any kind of torque limiting on these motors, and there is no kind of like stop or limit stop switch on them. So the RVer got to use their discretion when they operate the switch, pushing the slide out all the way out and stopping at the appropriate time. I imagine if you hold the switch too long, because the motor comes to kind of like a halt there, that you put too much stress on the gears, and that could be part of their failure problem. So a limit switch may help. So, all right, so here's the video on what was involved on replacing the gearbox, and so see you later. Alright, so I marked the gears, the chains, with nail polish, so when we go to connect this all back up, that the chains are in the same position they were before we took this apart. So we got the parts in, we got a new motor and gearbox, and we're going to go ahead and replace that. So what we did is we had to manually push the slide out while somebody was operating the slide out switch. So we helped the motor get the slide out most of the way, not all the way. And then what we're going to do is support the floor of the slide out with these 4x4s and it'll lift up slide out a little bit and take some of the tension off, and then I will undo the chain. Well, actually the cables, we'll loosen those way up so there's no tension anymore, and then we can slip the chains off the gears. So there you go. Alright, so we're supporting the room with these 4x4s, so when we disconnect the cables, that the room doesn't drop down. So just a little added security. Just took a picture of that so we know. So the right side is the bottom chain. Top chain goes to the left side. Perfect. So now we got the chains off. And so now we are going to remove the motor and gearbox. Okay. Right, so here we go. I've made a bunch of adjustments. Now when we had taken off the chain off the other motor, I did mark red nail polish here on the chains to get the initial position, but that adjustment has now changed a lot. So you got the out cables, these are taut, both top and bottom, and the opposite cables, which is the in, has slack in it. That's normal, that's what you want. If that's tight, if the opposing cable is tight, you could rip these pulleys right off the wall or strip the gearbox. So see on the end here I got slack, 1/2 inch is normal, and the out is taut because it's out. When I bring it all the way in, then the slack switches to the other opposite cables. Alright, so here we're going to run this and see how smooth it works and that. So we're going to slide her in. This is a lot quieter and smoother than it ever was. It used to make a lot of noise. It sounded like the motor was working really, really hard right from day one. I think there was always something wrong with it. But it's taken me a lot to play with this to get the adjustments right. Alright, now what I need to do is make sure that it's sealed correctly outside. Alright. We're going to make sure that's sealed. That looks good. And the back side is good. Looks good. Alright, so let's go back in, put the slide back out, and while the cables, gotta make sure they're not over tight. Looks like the opposite cables have slack in them, so that's good. Alright, and then out we go. So you have to operate this a number of times, in and out, make adjustments, in and out, for the cables to settle in, basically. It's an all-day project getting these things adjusted. It's not a 5 or 10 minute job. Replacing the motor and gearbox was a lot easier and didn't take that much time. Alright.
I think this
looks good. Alright, I'll call that good, and then I can replace the headers. Okay, so when I took these headers off, these are nailed in with these tiny little nails, like 100 of them. That's what holds these on. The middle section was held in with screws to give you access to the motor, and then this section here was all held in by all these tiny little nails. Of course, when you remove that from the wall, you can't reuse those nails. So what I did is I drilled some holes and used screws to put the headers back. This way I don't have to worry about it. And if I need to access the cables behind the header in the future, I can just unscrew it and drop them off. So it makes life a lot easier. It makes more sense. I don't know why they didn't do that in the first place. I will paint these screws black so you don't notice them. But everything works great now. It's what a relief. It feels a lot roomier now that the room operates, and it operates real smooth. So of course, you know, it's good if you're handy. I mean, you don't have to be an expert. I kind of learn as I go, but I tend to be a little bit handy and mechanically inclined. If that's you, that will certainly help out in the RV lifestyle. If you are not handy and you got to pay other people to do it, this kind of lifestyle could start to get expensive. You're going to have things fail, and you're going to need to be able to deal with it. And I've been able to work around most anything that's happened so far. Like I said, I'm no expert. There is a service manual for this system. This is the Accuslide by Ball Industries. You can download it, and I'll give you a link for it. That's what I did. I downloaded the service manual, because in there it talks about how to adjust the cables and stuff and how the whole system works. And so having a good understanding of how it works enables you to be able to fix and adjust it properly. Alright, so if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. I do have a lot of great stuff coming up in the near future. We're going to be traveling up the East Coast, so don't miss an episode. We're going to be doing a lot of cool and interesting things on our journey northward. It is a lot hotter. This is the wrong time of year to be starting off in the south, but we wanted to visit some family and get that stuff taken care of. So we're going to now be traveling up the East Coast. We might be traveling a little bit quicker up the coast than what I originally planned on because of the extreme heat down here. And then we're going to make our way all the way up into the New England states and then Niagara Falls. So we should complete that run, I'd say in a couple of months. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you next time. Bye now.